Hi everyone. Very good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you. I'm Rasha Khan and I'm your host for today's webinar. And thank you for joining in on time. We are just starting the session and I see the number of attendees are increasing as we are moving closer to the starting of the session here. So let me just put down my introduction and give you my introduction quickly as well. So my name is Rasha Khan and I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India. And whether you're an early bird, night owl, thank you for joining us here. And let's kick off this webinar together. With that, let's do a quick introduction on the chat as well. So I'm just putting my introduction on the chat. And you can also let us know by dropping us a hello on the chat, letting us know your name and where are you joining us from. As this is a global webinar, you'll be seeing folks joining from different parts of the world. So that makes the session even more interesting. And also quickly telling you about the session here as well. So we'll be covering the free career masterclass and we will be talking about the cloud architect versus the DevOps engineer, how you can choose the right career path in 2024. We have our expert, Dr. Tejesh here with us as well. I'll be introducing to you him pretty soon. With that, I would like to move on and introduce you to Simplilearn. This webinar and programs are powered by Simplilearn. We have been in the digital skills training space for more than a decade now. And we are very proud that we have transformed lives by empowering people via these skills today. And the skills we'll be talking about today is the cloud and the DevOps skills. And a comparison of it. I'll be telling more about the agenda in the upcoming slide. Meanwhile, please keep your amazing introductions coming in. And we have few quick ground rules here for you to follow. This is just to make sure that you're having a really good time during the session and after the session as well. So these are very quick and easy. So in case you have any questions, you can put down your questions in the Q&A box. So the Q&A box is basically placed just beside the chat box if you've joined from your laptop or desktop. And you can see your amazing introductions coming in, that is the chat box. And also the session is being recorded in case you want to go through the recording of the session once again, in case you have missed anything. So please don't worry, you can expect a follow-up email from us with the recording link to view. You should receive that within 24 to 48 hours post-webinar. And also there is a webinar certificate as well for attending the webinar. And for that, you have to stay till the end. So the session is 60 minutes long. And once the session ends, I'll be launching a webinar poll for capturing your full name. Just the way you're sharing it on the chat, I will need those details on the webinar poll as well. So for that, you'll have to stay till the end and you will be receiving this webinar certificate once you fill the webinar poll within 24 to 48 hours. And this is how the certification of participation will look like. You can see here, and you can see this is what I need from you, the name part. And you can see the topic here. And folks are actually already sharing these certificates and insights about the session and tagging young experts as well with their network on LinkedIn. And you can also do that. You can tag our Simplilearn handle. You can also tag our expert, Dr. Tejesh. And also, folks are doing it. As you can see, they can getting a lot of support from their network globally and they're using the hashtag SimplyGrow. I will share this hashtag with you, link towards it. You can check out what folks are posting, connect with like-minded folks globally as well, support them as well, and post yourself as well, if you want to share the insights of the certificate with the network. Now, quickly moving on to our expert introduction here. I would like to welcome Dr. Tejesh Sivasubrmani. Welcome, Dr. Tejesh. It's always a pleasure hosting you. We have a very interesting topic today, and I think I can see the curiosity building up as we're moving closer towards the starting of the session. Would you like to introduce yourselves to the crowd here before we start the session?
Yes. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Tejesh Sivasubrmani. I'm an IIT Madras graduate, as well as MS and PhD from New York University. I have around 14 years of experience, as well as in the cloud domain, into technologies of AI, big data, data science, as well as the session for today, that is infra solutions, solution architect, and the DevOps in multi-cloud domain, AWS, Azure, and GCP. And also, I have around 105 clients and then mentoring around more than 15,000 people around the globe. And also former associate vice president of Honeywell. And I hold 3 patents related to Gen AI, machine learning, and also in the infra solution cloud, which is the actual future. And then we're going to discuss more too about the solution architect in the cloud domains. Yep.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tejesh, for your introduction here. And we will move on towards the agenda of today's session. And thank you so much for all your amazing introductions as well, folks. Please keep them coming because I know a lot of you have just joined. So the first and the most important agenda of today's session is about you, getting to know a little bit about you, how we can help you out in your career better. And the second agenda is a topic, cloud architect versus DevOps engineer, choosing the right career path in 2024. And also there is a program introduction followed by that. That will be for the AWS Architect, Cloud Architect Masters program by Simplilearn. And we'll be sharing more about that, deep diving into the learning part of the program, how the program is hands-on, and the collaboration of the program as well. We'll be also talking about the learning environment of the program as well. What happens once you take up the program, what are the tools covered in the program, and much more. And address your questions about that as well. So we are open to your questions throughout the session. And yeah, we'll be sharing learner outcomes. And based on the interest you share towards enrollment, we'll quickly taking you to the enrollment steps, the program fee, upcoming cohort, and I'll be also sharing the program scan code for you, which you can just quickly save it and go to the weekly program page and download the syllabus. And towards the end, we will be covering the Q&A. So the Q&A is secured towards the end in order to make sure that we are able to address all of your questions with the amount of time we have. So the speaker will try to address in between if he gets any time, if time allows, he'll try to address. If not, we will try to address it towards the end. So please don't worry, just have a little patience and keep your questions related to the webinar. So that's all. And yeah, moving on towards the first poll of the session. So I see a lot of folks. Let me just quickly look at the introductions here as well and read out this poll as well. So we would love to know, along with your amazing introductions, like how many years of experience do you currently have? So on Zoom, I'm launching this poll. And you can select the option which is the most suitable to you. The first one is currently studying. Second one, 0 to 3 years. And the third one, 3 to 5 years. And the fourth one, more than 5 years. No, I'm not talking about cloud or DevOps. We are talking about general work experience. I hope that helps. Any kind of work experience you have. So, yeah. Also, let me also quickly look down into your amazing introductions. Let's see, where have you joined us from? Michael has joined us from Lagos, Nigeria. I see Mohan has joined us from Chennai, aspiring cloud developer. That's great. Prabhu has joined us from Chennai. Andrew has joined us from Ghana here. Radwan from Saudi Arabia. I see Radish has joined us from Coimbatore. And Ritesh from Delhi. Javeria from Karnataka. Mohan from UK. Says that I'm unable to see your screen. Okay, let's do a quick technical check as well quickly. So if you're able to hear us loud and clear, you can let us know by responding yes on the chat, and also if the slide is visible to you. So go for both. So quickly let us know by responding yes or no on the chat as well. Any issues with the audio or the slide visibility, let us know. Awesome. Folks, also sometimes if you're facing an issue, what happens is technical issues do happen at the Zoom's end. So what you can do is you can quickly rejoin the session, leave and rejoin. So usually it gets resolved that way. Awesome. I think most of you have responded for you folks are pretty quick here. And let's give it the last 5 seconds for the poll here. So how many years of experience do you currently have? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll and share the results with you and our expert Dr. Tejesh here. And let's see what have you voted for. 50% of you have more than 5 years experience. Interesting. 8% of you have 3 to 5 years. 21% of you have 0 to 3 years. And 21% of you also are currently studying. So that's interesting. I think major 80% of you are like experienced professionals. That's great. And yeah, with this, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That definitely will give our expert, Dr. Tejesh, an understanding of, what kind of audience with an experience has joined us. Now, quickly moving on towards the second agenda of the session, talking about the cloud architect versus DevOps engineer topic and comparing it to help you choose the right career in 2024. So over to you, Dr. Tejesh.
Yep. So over here, like our cloud architect program is for those who are interested from various backgrounds and domains into designing and trying to create and deploy infrastructures in the cloud. 95% of all the companies in the world right now are cloud oriented. They want all their workloads, their production loads, everything in the cloud. So right from the infra solution, the design, the identity access management, that kind of specializations or core services, and then how you give support, maintenance, monitoring, and then your disaster recovery. The full arc of an infrastructure solution you would be getting to learn in a very unique manner into 5 electives and then furthermore special electives. While we focus if you guys want to go on DevOps, this is between bridging the gap between the developer and the IT operations. So we have solution architects, we have developers, and then we have the DevOps. In solution architect is the bigger arc. If you have no direction towards the developer or what is the DevOps, then solution architect, that is the cloud engineer or the cloud architect, is the choice for you because it gives you around various technologies. It focuses you on serverless, it focuses you on compute, it focuses on the latest AI technologies, machine learning, data engineering, and all too. While we start from the basics, but then soon we slowly go towards the technology. Now, you might come from different backgrounds, you might come from different specialities, and you might also come from different technologies. If you couldn't make a choice that, okay, maybe you're not a developer, you don't want to handle that much of workloads, then solution architect is for you. But DevOps, in the other hand, it focuses on bridging the gap between the developer and the operations into your version control, into your infrastructure as a cloud, into your CI/CD, and into your configuration management. So here, it is a better choice once you focus where your interest lies. In a general thumb rule, if you want to enter the cloud domain and then explore various opportunities over deploying the infrastructures, then cloud architecture is for you. While you want to focus on only less programming, but a little bit of, the management style of it, because DevOps is agile also, right? Your choice is the DevOps. Now, key focus over here is what and then how. You have to do a little background on yourself as well as where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years on certain job roles that we would be seeing. But both overlaps at one point. That is, the technologies is the cloud, but they have different objectives. Like I told you, cloud architect is all about building and deploying in the cloud. DevOps is all about maintaining the production workload from developer to your production systems. So these are some of the things. Both the career opportunities are very high. And like I told you, 95% of the global companies, we have almost $7.6 trillion across the job market. And yes, data science, machine learning, AI, you must have heard of it. But ultimately, where are they ending up? They are ending up in the cloud. So with those technologies too, in the cloud, but people who master the cloud first have a long way towards securing their career life, and upskilling also really helps at least 3 to 5 times than other specializations and all. Yep. And then here we can easily see like some of the things that I explained in the cloud architect. Our skills are multi-domain, AWS, Azure, GCP. Now, We will start up with AWS and slowly fuse with Azure and slowly learn the basic fundamental levels of AWS and Azure and slowly go to the AWS solution level and then Azure professional level, securing a multi-cloud domain. Soon we will find that there are certain roadmaps. Once if I master one cloud provider like AWS, my Azure also becomes easy. So here the theme is all about deploying the services, deploying the solutions in the cloud so that you make your highly available global applications. In the DevOps, it is more about maintaining from that developer code to your production code. It is more about simplifying that process, more about keeping the process object oriented as well as more process oriented to make it automated, those kind of things. And the tools over here, you are going to learn almost 39 tools and services, making you a master of infra solutions, identity access management, various technologies, logging and monitoring, security, disaster recovery. While in the DevOps, it's all about making the automated process simplified to a CI/CD, your monitoring and all. And obviously, the soft skills are an add-on. Once you read on the terminologies, you read on your domain, you spend time in the technology, your brain is rewired into using all the correct terminologies at the correct place and understand the all over true and producing something. So soft skill automatically comes up. And what is your key takeaway? Your takeaway is the certifications, globally recognized by almost 7,000 companies across the globe, including the major 500 like top companies too. The certification that you get is all about your preparation, your electives, your labs, your assignments, your projects, your case studies into real life examples so that when you go with the certification, it's not only about you just having it, you are job ready. You get that confidence. People who hire you also will have that confidence that yes, even if they're from various backgrounds, they are specializing into the cloud, they are specializing into the DevOps. So the focus area always improves, right? Yes, dear. And when you have a confusion, how do I choose the right career path? We have discussed on it, but we are refocusing on it. When you do not know, like, what should I choose, cloud or DevOps? The best chance and the gist for you is cloud architect. It starts off with the ground level and then slowly makes you a master in the cloud. But then some people might come from the developer background. Some people might have into, I don't want to have too much of coding. I don't want to have too much of, uh, the intense services that cloud architect provides. Then you can go for DevOps. Comparatively, solution architect is 2 times the weightage of DevOps, but the job opportunities too, they equalify, meaning cloud architect provides around, say, 75% of the job market. DevOps focus on the 25% of the job market because cloud architect, like I tell you, various specialty as well as AWS and Azure. Job market, high in demand. The cloud architect is evergreen, high in demand for now and rest secure the next 10 years. DevOps, it has always been a must have agile strategy. Your software development lifecycle, your requires you in the cloud to have DevOps strategies. So each and every company is migrating to the DevOps. And yes, it is still to grow, but right now it is in the lead too. Then, what is your learning part like? On cloud certifications, on architecting courses, on developing the infrastructure courses, and deploying the full ones. Into DevOps, you have focus on CI/CD, automations, containerizations, and the thing that bridges the gap between the developer to the production load. And future trends, you can apply various technologies, AI technologies, machine learning technologies, serverless, lot of them. If there's a new technology in the market, then definitely they need those things in the cloud. It'll always secure you. While the DevOps, the rise of the DevOps practices, better practices, CI/CD, continuous deployment, making those workloads automate, the feature changes, deploying those, all those are some of the future trends, right? And networking also, a lot of AWS reInvent. You guys must have heard about AWS reInvent, Azure Ignite. There are big communities across the globe that celebrate with a lot of technology, a lot of planning, a lot of seminars, a lot of things, which Simplilearn also actively involves, actively takes participations and also guides people to join and do both in DevOps as well as cloud architect. Yeah, dear.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tejesh, for taking us through a comparison between cloud and DevOps. But before we move on and talk more about the cloud architect program, we would love to know what exactly is stopping you from becoming a cloud architect or a DevOps engineer. I think we have already started getting some plenty of questions from you, and we'll be looking into that. But before that, I'm launching this poll. This one is a multiple choice poll because you can select multiple options and there can be multiple concerns as well, right? When it comes to pursuing these careers. So feel free to suggest multiple options. I'll just read out these options for you. So the first one here is I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And the second one, I don't have the practical exposure and I need to become job ready. And the third one, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the fourth one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. And folks who are watching us live on our YouTube channel, you can also let us know by responding your concerns or even questions you have in the YouTube live chat box as well. Awesome. Kasim C is already run. That's great. Also, folks, if these options do not cover your concerns or challenges, the Q&A box is open for you. Please feel free to go and put on your questions there. I think most of you have responded for the poll. Let's give it 10 more seconds. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the poll. What's stopping you from becoming a cloud architect or DevOps engineer? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me end the poll and share the results with you folks and our expert Dr. Tejesh here as well. Let's see what have you voted for. So 39% of you voted for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And 57% of you voted for I don't have the practical exposure, I need to become job ready. And 19% of you voted for I find it difficult to learn from recorded videos. And 4% of you voted for my work schedule would allow me enough time for learning. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I think about the practical exposure part, I think makes sense because most of you are working professionals. So that's great. Now, quickly moving on towards the program introduction and starting the program preview here. So AWS Cloud Architect Masters Program, introducing you from Simplilearn. This certification is aligned with AWS. And also in this, we'll be discussing about the industry aligned learning path. What exactly do we cover in this program? What is the course curriculum and module, and what are the electives as well? You can take advantage of. We also have integrated and hands-on labs and projects. We have online live virtual classrooms, which I'll be showcasing you the learning environment live. What happens once you take up the program, and how does it look like? How does it work? And what are the hands-on labs we're talking about here? How hands-on they are? And also the program duration for this one is 11 months. And if you're a working professional or if you have other commitments, you can just complete it by giving 10 to 15 hours per week. Moving on to the next slide, talking about the eligibility and the prerequisites here. So fresh graduates who intend to take the plunge into the cloud job market are welcome, and professionals with less than 2 years of experience. This is not compulsory, but yeah, like one of the conditions here. If you have experience more than 2 years, that is okay. And yeah, starting with who is a AWS cloud architect. I think Dr. Tejas, you have already covered that, but maybe with
Yep.
along this program, maybe we can shed some light before we start the
Yes.
program.
So, like I told you, cloud architect, cloud architect. You might get a little confused if you're very new, like, hey, what do you mean by the cloud architect, right? So, it is nothing but the full arc curve of starting up with the design, the high level designs, deciding on the technicality of your what is going to be your architecture, and then designing on your identity and access management, meaning your permissions, and then focusing on your application, exact application that you want to build. And then after your application is built, how do you monitor it? How do you provide support to it? And then you make a choice. Is the application secure? You focus on security. And then into the disaster recovery. That is, what if my business continuity needs to be input? Something happens, is the business continuity disaster recovery in standards. So this whole curve is one thing that makes one a solution architect. So he's the architect of the entire start to the finish. And it is the same in AWS. It is the same in Azure. The words change. Solution architect for AWS and infra solution architect for Azure. But the cloud architect is the actual keyword that makes one, right? So it's like that. Yes, dear.
Yes, then
And
we
to
move
build
on
those,
towards the learning part of the program. Yeah,
yes, dear.
and how exactly we cover the modules, starting with the orientation session, which happens for the AWS Cloud Architect Masters program.
Yep. So like I told you, it all starts from the base. Now, you might be having that cloud architect on only AWS. You might have the master cloud architect, or you might have the DevOps. We all have it under a series from ground level to the top. In this case, we start off with the orientation and the fundamentals of cloud technicality. Here, you only focus on those basic concepts. Only 6 modules into covering you with and making you enter into an AWS. Slowly covering the big solution architect, the whole curve that I was talking about. Now, what is the key takeaway over here? The key takeaway is once you complete that entire arc, which I spoke about, at least in one cloud domain, that is AWS, your Azure becomes a 50% easier. So over here, when we focus on only AWS, what is the reason too? The job market in AWS is twice as more as Azure. So first we focus on Azure, in AWS, and then followed by this. Once this main solution architect, making you a cloud architect, is finished, you will have to have a choice. Where is your background from? Are you a little bit interested in the developer? You can see electives over here. Are you a little bit more interested in the databases? Are you a little bit more interested in the sysops, right? And then are you a little bit interested in the administration part of it, the Linux and the CLIs, command line interface? So once you cover your core, you cover your electives, making you that one in-demand cloud architect that everybody would be waiting to hire you for, right? Yep.
Yes, and the electives here are part of the program which already Dr. Tejesh has shared. They come as optional. It is up to you if you want to take them up. So, yeah. And moving on towards the in-demand tools, libraries, and platforms this program covers.
Yep. So some of the in-demand tools over here. Now, let me enlighten you. These are the most in-demand tools. That's it. Only 9 of them, 8 of them. But then you get to learn almost 24 services in AWS. And if it's the master cloud, even Azure, you get to learn 39 services. So here, the containers, you can see ECS, the computes, EC2. With this both and Lambda, the compute services, you can have a lot of web services, web applications, management systems, ERPs, and CRMs built. Knowing itself, the compute and some of the storage, you can see Dynamo, RDS, right? One is NoSQL, the other is SQL. So a lot of technologies along with learning of the services in combination with the practical labs, maximum hands-on demos, you will get an idea. Like, um, Hardik Pandey, Virat Kohli is famous, but Hardik Pandey is also very famous. Why? He's an all-rounder. So you become the all-rounder of the technology. When someone looks at you, interviews, or within the job, they will see that you can handle the whole curve, which not only guarantees you a job, but also guarantees you a promotion. Similarly, CloudWatch for your monitoring, Cloud Formation for your automations, Elastic Bean for your very quick deployment, and a lot of things. So just remember, it is the whole all-rounder that's going to make you not securing just a job, but also your future promotions too, because you go in with the entire knowledge for the future. Yep.
Yes. Next, moving on to who should take this AWS cloud training. I think a lot of questions about that as well, right?
Yes. So over here also, just remember your where do you see yourself in the next 2 years and 3 years? I always tell this to all the participants as well as people. When they have any confusion, just think over where do you want to see yourself in the next 2 years and 3 years. Let me tell you, the world will conspire to take you there, right? So, based on your background, do you want to lead on the solution architects, the all over, all rounders? Do you want to focus only on programming? Maybe you are from a programming developer. Do you want to focus on the cloud developers and infra developers? Because within the cloud, like I told you, we have various technologies, serverless, containers, virtual machines, big data, AI, machine learning, data engineering. So a lot of things. And do you want to be a DevOps? That is right from the production, I mean the developers to the productions. And by chance, if you are from a different background, you want to know about the cloud for a career transition, let me tell you, 20 to 30% of the people that are coming in have a successful career transition because all they look for in the market is, do you have the skill? Are you job ready? They might not even look for more experience. They will look for, do you have the skill? Can you dedicate as well as can you evolve with us into this? So I've seen people from BPO side. I've seen people from diplomas. I've seen people from medical side. I've seen people from even retired military side, right? They dive in the cloud architect because you know why? The applications and the systems they use are in the cloud. They need to know this to operate. They need to know this to build. They need to know this to act as a support. So once you learn this, the world, how you see those application changes. So the job, it is really easy to get when you have the latest in demand. And in fact, your generative AI also, all are in the cloud. The chat GPT is in the cloud. All the applications are in the cloud. So it would help you. Just look towards the future. You will yourself get a little bit idea into where do I want to go. Yep.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajesh, for taking us through that. Then moving on towards the hands-on projects we have in the program. So I think
Yes.
we also got this as one of the biggest concerns, right, when we did that.
Yes. Exactly. So when we talk about the hands-on project too, try to understand these are the capstone projects. Before we even go to the capstone project, you guys would be conquering one service and one module, and within that, the mini projects and the hands-on before you go to the capstone. So before even you reach the capstone, you would have a lot of hands-on practicality into where do I use what, how do I deploy, and how do I do. But then when you reach the level of the projects, you will see over here, these are only examples. We have much more bigger projects, capstone projects. How do we do the migration? How do we do the VPN or networking deployment? How do we do the management system? How do we do the serverless API deployments? How do we build an entire like a banking application or employment application or an ERP application in the cloud? How do we not only build, but you can see in project number 3, how do we make those highly available under auto scaling and load balancer, meaning it can handle even 100 million people at once, right? So how does those concurrency happen? How does those load balancing happens? All these things in various modules under it, securing as a big project, you have lot of hands-on project. And what is the giveaway? When you complete 7 to 8 projects, each under electives, by the time you complete an elective, not only you have 7 projects, you have a lot mini projects hands-on, 7 projects and a massive capstone project too. So this is completely like an R&D, research and development training. The interviewer too will get a little feared like, hey, did you do like so much of intensive training and then come so much is here? Okay, let me ask you the questions. And when you ask you the questions, you will be in a position to answer all those and also make a friendly conversation with him, like enough questions. What projects do you offer? I want to see if I fit in the company, right? So those kind of conversations will happen. Yep.
Thank you so much for taking us through the hands-on projects we have. We are open to your questions, folks. I think Dr. Tejas has already answered few of them. Please go and check out and let us know if you have any follow-up questions as well. And yeah, we'll be taking your questions soon in the Q&A part as well. So let me also take you through the learning environment of the program here, and in which we'll be sharing how you can manage the curriculum, what is the module and electives, how do they look like, which we have already covered. So let me just go back here and go to the learning mind system. And yeah, so this is the learning mind system provided by Simplilearn. So this is what happens once you take up the program, and you can see this is for the AWS Cloud Architect programs, and this comes in under the category Cloud Computing and DevOps. Here we have already covered the courses here. The courses which are covered, you can see it is a balance of live classes, self-learning, and labs. Maybe let me open one of them for you and like show you what exactly it looks like. And yeah, so this is the self-learning section here. You can see the curriculum here in detail. And maybe let me just open one for you. Maybe let's open AWS Transfer Family here, the course. And I'll just play it for you quickly.
Let us now talk about another service called AWS Transfer Family. And this particular service allows you to transfer files again from your on-premise applications to AWS Cloud via SFTP. SFTP protocol. SFTP stands for Secure Shell File Transfer Protocol. So using this protocol, you want to transfer some files, you can use AWS Transfer Family.
Yeah, that was just an example. Again, like it is full of the curriculum here, as you can see. I'll just open once again, so you can go and basically like cover these curriculum in the self-learning section, and then there are live classes as well. So right now it might not be visible because the current cohort is full, but I'll just guide you how exactly the live classes are visible. So in the available classes section, okay, it is visible actually. So in the available classes section, you can see the classes which are happening here. and you can select from the batches here. And once you opt for those classes, register for them, it should be visible in the My Classes section. And once you basically are done with your class, it basically reflects in the past classes in case you want to go through the recording of the sessions. So you can easily access it here in the past classes section. And then there are assessments as well, which Dr. Tejesh has already taken us through. So there are course and projects and assessments you can see here, which you can get hands-on experience from. And there are reference materials also available like ebooks, practice and lab guides and projects. And then there are practice labs as well. So maybe about the practice lab, maybe Dr. Tejesh, you can tell us a little bit about it, how exactly these practice labs are useful.
Yes. So you don't have to worry about the credit card. You don't have to worry about having your own account. You don't have to worry about, taking care of what is my bill, how much it's going to take, and all those things. We have an assisted practice designed just for you. So you just click at just a click of a button, your lab environment for the entire AWS or its respective one starts up, and you will get the credentials. You just open that link, and then there you go into AWS lab, right? AWS portal. From the portal, you can use all the services that are related to the course. You can practice, and you don't have to worry about the services running or little help. Everything is taken care by us. At a level 1, you start having help, and once you reach the level 2 where you are ready to do the projects, you can go on with the open lab and then practice a lot of hands-on too. So we provide these assistant labs like this. Yep.
Thank you so much for sharing about the labs. I hope you have understanding now. Let us know if you have any questions about the labs as well. And yeah, it's a blended format as I already mentioned. And once you move on to the electives, which we have already covered, you can see there are so many electives here. And additional new things, Linux and Commercial Linux Plus course. And electives again like optional, they come as a part of the program. Here also there are live classes available as well. And also there is a help section which is applicable 24/7 in case you have any questions about the certificate, the exams, the labs, the projects, the live classes, any issues you face regarding the program, you can just chat with us here. And quickly, I think you should be able to get a response pretty quick here from the learning consultants from Simplilearn. So yeah, this is just to sum it up. And we do have other programs as well, like DevOps Engineer as well. I'll share the link on the chat with you if you want to check out uh, the DevOps program as well, and other categories of cloud computing and DevOps courses as well. I'm just sharing all the category of courses we have. You can see these are in collaboration with AWS and IBM, Microsoft. So I'm just sharing the link here. You can work it out later as well. You can see it for yourself. Moving back to the slide. Yeah. Quickly sharing the learner outcomes of the program. So interestingly, previous classes have consisted of learners coming from world-class organizations like IBM, Microsoft, Oracle, Wells Fargo, Barclays, Dell, just to name a few of them. That doesn't mean they only come from these companies. There are many more. And then there are diverse industries also they come from, like IT, software product, BFSI, e-commerce, and many others. And let's see what the learners say about the program. So quickly taking you through the learner reviews here for the AWS Cloud Architect Masters Program. Rajiv Patra here shares that Simplilearn is the ideal destination to advance your skills, and the teaching, methodology, and courses are structured to make it effortless for anyone to master cutting-edge technologies, including the AWS Cloud Architect domain. Simplilearn's AWS Cloud Architecting ensures you gain the expertise needed to excel in the thriving field. Vinod Mayekari shares here that he basically sought AWS Cloud Architect training to upskill and transition to cloud-based roles, and moving away from infrastructure management, hearing about Simplilearn on the radio. He Googled it and spoke to an ISM. And yeah, compared it with other platforms and impressed by the course content. And he now plans to pursue the official AWS certification. And then there are many more. I'll share the basically program. I think I've already shared the category course page link, but you will be able to find many of these learner reviews there as well. And yeah, with this, moving on to the next slide. So why pursue a career as a AWS cloud architect? So there is high demand, attractive salaries, and career growth. Maybe Dr. Teji, she can sum it up for us.
Yes. Over here, yes, I was just answering the last question. Yep. So over here, just think about it like practically. The world is moving towards the cloud. 95% of 7.6 trillion US dollars assets are everything in the cloud. Look at the market for, or look at the company's growth of Microsoft or AWS. Microsoft, AWS, and GCP together is almost $2.5 trillion. How are they doing it? And on that much, how much workforce is required? There is actually 30% of workforce shortage in the cloud. Now, remember the time 1995 and 2000. People who secured on Java and Oracle immediately got those US jobs, got those high salary paying careers and all. This is the same trend going on now. People in the cloud, having skills in the cloud, and solution architects in the cloud are always making, and also it is challenging, it is very interesting, as well as the challenge is having fun with, meaning you are more glued into evolving on it. It is not really very difficult. It is a interesting, challenging career. And at last, I talk about the pay scale. Compared to any other, you get a lot of hikes. Demand is there. As you increase on your experience, your demand increases. That means your salary package increases. Let it be Asia Pacific, let it be American, let it be the European countries, everywhere it is in demand. And surprisingly, when you see the quarter of statistics, even the developing countries, even they generated a lot of job opportunities and implemented even their government to private everything in the cloud. So even we have a lot of base from the Africa side, Indonesia side. And what is the reason? Because they are taking up what is in your band. So for you, on the salary side too, you can expect at least a 25% or 20% then your average median salary of whatever others are getting when you go into the cloud. Yes, dear.
Thank you for answering that. And yeah, just to sum it up all, at the end of it all, you'll be getting a Simplilearn AWS Cloud Architect Master Certificate. You can see it on the screen here. This will be accredited by Simplilearn. You can see all the accreditations here. And 20 plus in-demand tools and skills, and 8x higher interaction in live online classes, which we have already shown you, and conducted by industry experts as well. And yeah, there is a job assist program through Simplilearn. This is for India only region. I think we had one of the questions about that. So we do provide job assist services where we help you with resume, interview preparation, and like having a wide employer network as well. So yeah, with this, we would like to know your interest. Are you interested in enrolling into the AWS Cloud Architect Masters program in collaboration with AWS with Simplilearn? I'm launching this poll where you can share your interest by responding yes. After this, I'll be sharing the enrollment steps of the program. And yeah, like after this, the learning consultants from Simplilearn will reach out to you based on the interest you share. And they will help you with a walkthrough of the program as well. Any questions you might have, you can go and download the syllabus as well. You will receive the details over mail as well after this. And yeah, like I'm launching the poll now and on Zoom, and it is launched, and you can let us know your interest by responding yes to this poll. And a lot of questions have already been addressed by our expert, Dr. Tejesh. So you can go to the Q&A box and let us know if you have any follow-up questions there. I already see responses like, thank you for clarification, and a few follow-up questions coming in as well. Folks who are saying yes on the chat as well, please make sure you go and vote on the poll as well. The thing is, we have thousands of messages on the chat, so we actually miss your response here. So yeah, that is why the poll is there. Now, this is for folks on Zoom, but then there are a lot of folks who are watching us live on our YouTube channel as well. So, folks who are sharing interest towards enrollment on the live chat, you can go to the link on the live chat, which is on the top. You will see the AWS certification training link. And you can just click on that and it will take you to the program page. And also, it basically will be we just asking for few basic details. And yeah, the enrollment steps will be very similar to the one which I'll be sharing after this. So, yeah. Awesome. I see most of you respond, a lot of interest there. But let's give it like 10-15 seconds more. Just to be clear, we have a assist program. We do not provide jobs. So it is just to help you out, when you're getting out there and, trying to, your land a job of your dreams there in cloud. So we basically help you with preparing for that with assistance provided like resume review and rewrite services with an SME.
Also, dear, one more information I would just like to tell this too. The reason we are having a very high success rate in the job placements over here in cloud as well as the others, and especially cloud, right? The reason is just imagine before your certification, before you even apply, you are in hands-on with a lot of all over services, demos. You feel confident of being and deploying ready. You can do it. And then Capstone project assists you in increasing your skills. Now you already come up very talented and then very upskilled. The only thing we do is we feel modest, like, hey, we have to crack the interview. But then people looking from the outside would look at you like, hey, you have gained almost 29 services into the latest, lot of projects, assessment, theory, and then with our right placements assistance into the resume, as well as how to prepare and how to tune. When you go to that first or second interview itself, they will be more of, you are already hired, but then I have to ask the questions. Okay, let me ask and see. And they feel satisfied too. So it is about that skills that is your main assets. And then the job and the assistance will eventually come towards you. Now, conditions applied. What? You have to focus and practice and revise, right? Only that. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for talking about the job perspective in the cloud field. Definitely agree with that. And I think most of you responded for this poll, and I see a lot of interest here. So last 5 seconds now to close this poll. So would you like to enroll into the AWS Cloud Architect Masters program with Simplilearn? This is in collaboration with AWS itself. So last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, folks. Like a lot of you have shared interest. So let me just quickly take you through the enrollment steps here. And there are 3 simple, easy steps you'll have to follow. So now I'm just giving you an overview of what's going to happen next. So the learning consultants from Simplilearn will reach out to you. And this is what's going to happen. The step 1 here is you'll have to submit an application to us. You'll have to apply at askus@simplilearn.net. And the step 2 will be the application will go for review. Simplilearn will review your qualifications based on the eligibility and the prerequisite which I've shared earlier. If you want to go through it again, you will be receiving the program details over mail as well after this webinar. And the step 3, the admissions. So the learning consultants from Simplilearn will contact you with the admissions offer as well. So yeah, this is just to give you an overview so you're aware what's going to happen next. Next, the program fee here. So the current fee which you see here, because the discount keeps going on, so it can keep changing as well. So this is the current fee of the program. So for ROW candidates, it is $1,299 including GST. If you want to check it out for your own region, you can check out details over your mail as well. We'll be sending you details. And also for Indian candidates, the fee here is 44,999 INR rupees including GST. And even after the webinar, if you need any assistance, we will be able to help you out. You can just drop us a mail at askus@simplilearn.net. We do have limited seats per cohort. So the next cohort is going to get announced soon because the current cohorts are going, completely filled. So if you're planning to join us, maybe like, the next month, 6 months from now, so the learning consultants will help you out with the upcoming cohort as well, which will be the most suitable for you, as per the commitment you can give for the program. And yeah, moving on towards the Q&A. So I think we have gotten plenty of questions, Dr. Tejesh, and I think you've managed to answer most of them, and even the follow-up questions as well. So maybe can we sum it up for the audiences, like what are the questions, and like what are the most important things they should know as well? I think we have 4 minutes, so we can do that quickly.
Yeah. So I think most of the core important questions I did and we did address, but some of the interesting questions are the career transition, which one to choose between the cloud and the DevOps. And one I can think is the job placements, which we already discussed. And also about the certification. While just imagine, people go and spend a fortune trying to get a master's degree and then they learn a very less than what we provide. So PGP, take advantage of it. It's like 1/10 of the cost of a master's program, but 5 times the more knowledge and skills that you get. And programming also. So there were a couple of questions on programming. I can see that a couple of questions came from their developers and all. From developers and then cloud. Very deadly combination. If you have a developer background and then you're going into the DevOps, the cloud architect or the DevOps, it's a very deadly combination. Your skills as well as your value increases. In contrast to that, we also got some people who are into diploma or MCA and others, and they have a question like, will it help? Now, let me tell you, most of this successful, at least from my side, I've seen most of my very successful team leaders and project managers, they came from another domain and MCA side. So with their loyal knowledge and their focus into upskilling, they tend to learn a lot more. Not that even engineering guys do, but they tend to a little bit relax. So it's always I seen people from other domain, they are more focused and strict into it. So that is also a good thing. And then one last question I can see is, what about the job market is like? So like I tell you, it is right now everywhere. They want a lot of people knowing in the cloud. The reason is everything is shifting towards the cloud and it only gets better. Opportunities, when you seize early, it only gets better, meaning your salary hike and your demand of people offering you would also increase. So I think I could see these kind of things. And also, I think a couple more questions. What about natural language processing? So those are just a specialty. We have a lot of core services that we focus first, and then we have specialty services like data engineering, IoT, and then Gen AI side and all. So once you secure on this, you go towards the advanced one. That is in our course also, we have serverless, we have containers, we have certain data services. So all this are covered. But then once you cover all this, a further more new technology comes, you will be in a position to learn those because you are already accustomed to learning the services. You know about a lot of related services. When you want to secure the new service, it would be almost 70% very easy to secure it. I think that's with the important questions. Yeah. Yep.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tejesh, for addressing these questions. Thank you so much for taking us through a very interesting topic as well. The cloud architect versus DevOps engineer comparison here, and also covering the AWS cloud architect program as well. So thank you so much once again. And yeah, with this, we would like to conclude the session. Before we move on towards the webinar certificate poll, would you like to say something to the audience before we move towards the ending?
Yeah, dear. So like I again say, all of you over there, thank you for joining. Please really look into Where do you want to see yourself in 2 years? Where do you want to see yourself in 6 months? Where do you want to see yourself in 3 years? And definitely the world will conspire you to make you lead into the destination. And our course on cloud architect as well as DevOps masters all those. We are currently at rank 1 compared to any other. The reason is the content, the hands-on, the projects, and the skills, and also our experiential knowledge. Me as well as a couple of my other trainers too are all Ivy League college graduates here to develop the next generation engineers. So you guys are going to be the next generation cloud architects, and then you are going to be very proud you made a perfect and a very good choice. Yes, dear.
Yeah, I see you very about the program. For that, I would suggest that you can reach out to us at askus@simplilearn.net. I think the learning consultants will be able to address that question better. Just sharing their email ID for you. So thank you so much. So yeah, with this, we would like to conclude the session. Before I launch the webinar certificate poll, I've shared the links of Dr. J's LinkedIn once again on the chat. He has also shared it. So and you can check out other details if you're looking for such free masterclasses. So now we would like to know, how was the session for you? How was the content of the session for you? How satisfied you are with that? So I'm launching a poll for the rate, and you can rate us out of 5, 5 being the highest. If you enjoyed the session, you can rate us 5 there. And yeah, there'll be a feedback survey as well after the webinar. So it will ask us you one question: what can we do to make our webinars better? So you can leave us a feedback there as well. So I'll just make this poll live for 10 more seconds, and then we quickly move on towards the webinar certificate poll. Folks who are sharing their names on the chat will not be considered. Just wait for one or 2 minutes. I'll launch the poll. Please submit your names there. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the rating poll. How satisfied are you with the content of the session? You can rate us out of 5, 5 being the highest. Awesome. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you for responding to this rating poll. Really appreciate your rating there. And now moving on towards the webinar certificate poll. So quickly launching this poll. So you have to enter your full name in this poll, which I've launched right now, where to receive a proof of attendance, the certificate of participation, which you can see here on the screen. You can see the topic here as well. This is what you'll be getting. And we will need your details of the full name so we can personalize and send it to you. You should receive that within 24 to 48 hours or a separate email. And for that, you will have to basically fill the certificate poll here. That is a compulsion. So yeah. I see most of you have already started responding. Let me give it like 10-15 seconds more, because there's a lot of you. So yeah, let's do that. Also, I had initially shared the links to what other programs also we have, as a lot of you folks have asked about that. So I'm just sharing it once again. So we have a lot of programs in the cloud computing and DevOps section. I'm sharing that link once again on the chat. You can check out those details. About this program, you will receive details over your mail as well to go through, and learning consultants will also help you out from Simplilearn in order to take you through the program details, any questions you might have. Also share the DevOps engineer program as well, in case you want to check that out as well. So yeah. Also let us know how was the webinar for you. If you want to share a comment here as well, so yeah, feel free to do that. Awesome. Thank you so much, folks. I think last 5 seconds for the webinar certificate poll. I think most of you responded there. So last 5 seconds for the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll. And thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being an amazing audience. Thank you for your amazing questions there. Thank you, Dr. Tejesh, once again. It's always a pleasure hosting you. And yeah, we'll be seeing Dr. Tejesh in more upcoming sessions. I'm sharing the link towards these free live webinars we do. And you can get early access to, next upcoming whole webinars as well here. So I'm just sharing the link once again. You can check out if you want to check out more cloud and AI, ML, any kind of categories webinar, you should be able to see it here as well. So you can keep getting updated every week. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Have a good night, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.